if you're in a situation where the best you could do is a few minutes, like between things, you have a little break at school maybe, and you could do this at school and people wouldn't freak out. Even a few minutes would be fine.
Okay.
But it's not the best effects do take a little longer to happen. Uh,
Okay.
Somewhere in the 12-minute to range it seems to be what most people have found, but it's going to be different for everybody. But just be there and just enjoy doing nothing.
I love it. Okay. That's
That's
going to
it.
be a big step for me, but
Later
I'm looking
on,
forward to trying it.
okay, and later on, we will add some possible things to add, but I don't want you
Okay.
to add anything now. I want you to just
Okay.
subtract. No
Okay.
addition, just subtraction. Okay,
Okay.
all right. You got a nice walking area there, it looks like.
Yes. Got
So
lots of
I
space
want to
here.
do an experiment. If you could, yeah, great. Move that chair. And here's what's going to happen. I'll tell you ahead of time. I'd stay near the camera for a moment. I'm going to want you to go all the way back as far as you can, that dark door that's in the background, and be facing the camera. And we're gonna do some experiments that are going to involve you walking towards the camera and back.
Okay.
Do you
Sure.
have those hard sole shoes? Let me see what they look like. Oh, those are great. It's that wood? Wooden see
I think so. Like
they're
there's a
like
little
clogs.
rubber.
They're like clogs.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll
They're
be
noisy.
perfect. Oh, that's
You can't
exactly
sneak
what we
around and
want
be
for this experiment.
okay.
So start by just walking back to that door. And as you walk back, just can you hear your footfalls?
Yeah.
Good. That's what we want. Okay, so here's the project. I want you to walk to the camera, turn around and walk back, and just notice how much noise or how loud the sound is from your feet. But just
Sure.
do an otherwise an ordinary walk. Don't be careful. Don't try to walk any special way.
Okay.
Just walk to the camera
Okay.
and back. Be a little
Okay.
interested in your footfalls. Oh, good. Even I can hear them a little bit. That's a good sign.
Yeah. I am a power walker.
Yeah, well,
That's me. That's what I
okay.
do.
Now, what we're going to do this time is I'm going to ask you to think something for the first part of the walk. So halfway towards the camera, roughly.
Okay.
And what I'm going to, and this is going to sound very weird, just go with it.
Okay.
I want you to think very lightly, not doing anything. I'm not walking. Just a thought. And then roughly halfway through, switch over to, and we're going to use a thought that will have no effect on your walking. One that I like is a color like I'm green or something. It's a nonsense thought. And I'll
I
explain
am green.
why I want you to use a nonsense thought. So on the way to the camera, you're thinking,
I'm not
I'm
walking.
not walking, and then roughly halfway switch, and don't, it's not a thought to cling to. You might forget
Okay.
it, just gently bring it back if you've forgotten. And then about halfway to the camera, switch over to
I
I'm,
am green.
and then
Okay.
going back, turn back and do the walk back to the door, the same two things.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm switching half all my walk to you. I have to think both thoughts. I'm switching halfway to my walk to you.
No, you just half the first half, you just think I'm not walking. The second half, you think I'm green. And the same on the way back. The first half going back, I'm not walking, then I'm green.
Okay.
See what happens.
Okay.
Okay, same thing on the way back. Not walking, and then I'm green. So what did you notice? Anything jump
Well,
out at you?
I feel like maybe I needed to go longer or something so I could feel it longer.
Okay, so do this then. Walk to the camera with the thought,
Yeah,
not walking. Then turn around as you're turning. I would, and when you get to the end of the walk to the camera, switch over to I'm green and use that for turning and going back.
I think that'll give me more time.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Sure.
Okay, I'm not walking.
Yep, exactly. Okay, I'm green for the rest of the trip. So, did you notice any difference in those two walks?
I don't know. I felt like when I was doing I am green, I had more intentional forward motion. And when I was thinking I'm not walking, it was almost like focused, like it allowed my brain to think about other things. So I wasn't really thinking about my feet.
Okay, so you were you noticing the sound of your feet a little bit in the background of your thinking?
Yeah, I feel like I was like a lighter on the first one, even like had like almost a little slip because I was so light in the first way.
So the foot falls, but you felt lighter walking, you're saying?
Yeah, I felt like the footfalls were a little lighter.
And could you hear a difference?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that like there was a like a stronger, slightly louder sound on the way back.
Louder is the key word here because
Okay,
louder
louder.
is like the sound produced by those wooden soles on the wooden floor.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Mm-hmm.
the foot's coming down more heavily, it makes a louder noise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and that also seemed to coincide with your sense that the footfalls felt lighter, or maybe you
Mm-hmm.
felt lighter. All,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I felt a little lighter too.
yeah. The reason I like to have, at least initially, for learning new directions, have you do something like walking where you get that sound as well as whatever you can sense. You're getting
Mm-hmm.
sound that's going to your ears. It's auditory information that's
Yeah.
that it's a second source of feedback.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the whole idea. That's why I asked you to wear hard sole shoes for this kind of
Yeah.
experiment. Well, come on back and let's talk about what this means and how and what does it mean and how can you use it, right? I
Okay.
think that would be the two questions that if it were me would jump out at this point.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so the first thing to think about here is that all you did was change a thought. You did something up here in this part of your brain that comes up with ideas, or someone suggests an experiment with some ideas. It's all happening here. And all you did with this is just think, I'm not walking or I'm green. Now I'm green, that thought, they both go to your unconscious system. But the I'm green one, the unconscious system says, "Oh, that's cute, but we're not going to do anything about that." You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
smart. It's smart. It actually has a lot of intelligence. The problem is it's out of our consciousness, so we don't really appreciate what it does. But it knows that that isn't. They're not. It's not going to make any changes in your walking. It's just going to however you normally walk, that's what will be. But when you think, I'm not walking, then what it says, what it takes away from that is, okay, she does not want to walk the way she usually does. She wants a different kind of walking. It's not walking as in the dictionary definition of walking. It's what you do when you walk. When you look around and see people
Uh-huh.
walking, you'll see everyone's walking, but they're not all walking the same. They're walking, you see
Yes.
huge variety. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know where you live. When I used to go up to Toronto a lot, I'd love to go out on the street and just see dozens of people walking. And wow, look at that! They're all walking. Each one of them thinks they're walking, and they are walking, but it's different from their neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
So your unconscious mind says, okay, she wants a different way of walking. Um, we or I, the unconscious part of you, could say, you know what? I'm going to give her a way of walking that's a lot more, is harmful. She just wants something different. I'll give her a harmful one. You might think it's a 50-50 chance. It might make it better, it might make it worse, right? You're just asking
Yeah.
for a change. You're not asking to make it better. You're just asking for a change. But here's the thing. I've never met an unconscious mind that would do that. It's totally biased towards helping you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think a thought like that, I'm not walking, it says, oh, that's wonderful. I so support that, and I'm going to do what I can. I'm not going to necessarily be able to make her walking perfect because we have to deal with the physical reality of the moment, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it as light and easy as is possible given her current situation. It's gonna
Okay.
it's gonna it's a direction change, not a total huge jump change. It's a direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it does it it's incredibly good at doing that. It's I think we talked last time about how your prefrontal cortex is a great comer upper of ideas and thoughts, but is the world's worst micromanager. The
Right.
rest of your brain is not only pretty intelligent in all sorts of ways that it understands things and makes decisions, but it is also loves to micromanage. It's
Mm-hmm.
good at it. And what it'll do when you say I'm not walking is it'll go for the low-hanging fruit. If there's some big obvious thing that it can just change immediately, it'll do that. It'll just do it'll do what's most efficient to do to get the biggest bang for your buck, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
It's totally on your side. But it needs to be asked. It
Yeah.
doesn't jump in there on its own. It's a curious aspect of ourselves. It needs to be asked. But the asking is just the lightest ask in the world. It's just, I'm not walking. I have no idea what that means. I certainly have no idea how to do it.
Right.
I'm just saying, I would like that. And it says, oh yeah, I love that. It says we're gonna work instantly on that.
Yeah. Okay.